ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। आभासे परिणामश्चेत् न रज्ज्वादिनिभत्ववत् सर्पादेश्च तथा वोचम् आदर्शे च मुखत्ववत्। Abhase parinamasche. A question is asked tentatively that if self or the consciousness, there is an abhasa, it gets reflected, does not something happen to the image? For the reflection to take place, something should happen to the image that is reflected. Parinamasche, therefore, some parinama, some modification should take place in the consciousness, in the adhyaksha. No, answer is no. Rajvadi nimatvavata. Just as when Rajju or the rope manifests as a snake, there is no change or modification, whatever in Rajju. Adarshecha mukhatvavata, or we say that when the face gets reflected in the mirror again, there is no change whatever in the grivastha mukham, the face which is on the neck. Similarly, no change whatever happens in the adhyaksha or consciousness when it gets reflected in the ahamvritti. Natma vasatva siddhischet atmano grahanat prathak mukhadesh prathak siddhi yes pandonya samshaya. Ahankuteva atmattvamiti manyamanasya. The one who says ahankar itself is atma. Chinnibhatvam, why does it have to be like chit or consciousness? Why does ahankara have to be enlivened, a conscious entity, for it being atma? So, na atma vastatva siddhischet आत्मनो ग्रहणात् पृथक् आत्मनः केवलस्य ग्रहणात् अवासनात् पृथगेव आत्मभासत्वस्य सिद्धिश्चेत् न भवेत्. The Atma is shining on its own. how merely by the shining of the Atma independently, Atma avabhasa abhasatvasa siddhischet na bhaved. How does abhasa take place? Atma is shining as consciousness in its own satta. So by merely Atma being there, how does abhasa take place? Will not take place. Abhasa avabhasenaiva atmabhaso bhaved. Then tada ihatu asmin mate anyonya ashrayati yojana. So in this mata there is anyonya ashraya. That is explained in the next verse. Okay, we are pretty far, isn't it? Oh, પાણું આજે ખોલ્યું એટલે બધું શરૂ કર્યું સારું. अवगत्या ही संव्याप्तः प्रत्ययो विषयाकृतिः. विषयाकृतिः प्रत्ययः अवगत्या ही संव्याप्तः. When pratyaya, the cognition, vishayakriti of the nature of vishaya such as a ghata, meaning that when ghatakara vritti takes place, avagatya hi samvyaptaha, it is always pervaded by consciousness. It is the nature of vritti to reflect consciousness, and therefore it always arises as pervaded by consciousness. Jayate sayadakarah sabahyo vishayo matah. So what is called vishaya? The jayate sayadakarah, the akara or the form that vritti takes is bahyo vishaya matah. This part is said to be an external object because a ghatakara vritti takes place. So jayate sadaka yadakara, that pratyaya, the cognition, what is the akara of that cognition, namely ghata. So the ghata, which determines the nature of the vritti, is the external object. The point is that you don't directly contact external objects. We contact the external world only through the sense organs of perception. So thus you contact this part also through your organ of perception, namely eyes. As a result, the ghatakara vritti takes place. So jayate sedakara sabahyo vishayo matah. That pratyaya, whatever is the akara of that pratyaya or cognition, such as ghata, then that ghata is the external object, which is responsible for creating a cognition of the form of ghata. So this is how external objects are established, because there are corresponding thoughts or cognitions in the mind. The various cognitions such as ghatakara, patakara in the mind would not take place unless there are corresponding objects out there. So Vedanta accepts the existence of external objects, and it is they who are responsible for creating the cognitions of the respective form. This is called bahya vishaya. Karma ipsitavatvat sa tadvan karye niyujyate. Akaro yatra charpyeta karanam tadiha uchyate. So that vishaya is called karma. Ipsitamatvat, because that vishaya is most desired by the subject. Tadvan karye niyujyate. when the subject comes in contact with Godhead, such as Ghata, through the organ of perception, such as eyes, then something happens to the subject also. The Vishaya creates an influence and creates a response, such as I like it, I do not like it. And either of the responses creates a reaction in him, I want it, I do not want it. Tadvan karye niyujyate. So one who is possessed of this cognition, the subject, karye niyujyate, he is in a way impelled to a certain action of acquiring or rejecting. Akaro itra charpyeta karanam tadhi uchyate. Itra akara arpyate. And there where the ghatakara is arpyate, is offered, is called antahkaranam. And the basic lessons, so we wonder why, but this is coming to the basics. To ultimately go to the most fundamental. So thus in the day-to-day experiences, the subject, object, interaction between them, which is through a vritti, the Vishayakara vritti. So where the Vishayakara vritti takes place, that is the vritti. There is antahkaranam, there is called karanam, inner karanam. There is eyes, which is the bahya karanam, mind, that is the antahkaranam. So karanam, Vishaya is called karma, subject is called karta. So Vishaya karane vitpadya kartaram vitpadayati yada bhasena samvyaptah sajñāteti nigadyate. Yasya chit pratibimbasya ābhāsena samvyāpta ahankara parinamate. So aham vritti is the one that is pervaded by the chidabhasa. So chit pratibimba, that chidabhasa is called jnata. So chidabhasa is called jnata, the subject. The ghata is called the karma vishaya. Ghatakara vritti is called karana, the means of knowledge. All of these are sakshya. The karta, karma, karanam they are explained. Karta is the aham vritti with chidabhasa. Karma is external object which is contacted by the sense of perception. And karanam is the vritti which is influenced by the external object. So, evam sakshyam nirdishya, all these three are sakshya. Karta, karana, karma. Vishayi, vishaya, and then the vishaya jnanam. Tata sakshitam, sakshinam, pruthak upalambayati. So, purpose of discussion of these three was to bring to attention this other one. Sakshinam, pruthak upalambayati. There is sakshi, there is consciousness, there is pruthak, other than these three. Therefore, the second line of verse 120 said, Trametad vichatra yojanati sa atmavita. Etatrayam, this triputi. Jnata, jnanam, jnayam cha. Jnata, subject, jnayam, object, jnata, the cognition. Iti vivichya asadharanyana avagamya. So one who is able to appreciate them separately. Right now, so we are aware of these three, except that the chidabhasa is always mixed up in them. So today, The subject, object, and the karanam, we do not know the self independent of them, which illumines them. They are known along with the illumination, along with consciousness. So these three are known to us. And the self also, of course, is known to us. But by default, an identification takes place with them, with these three. And therefore I, the consciousness, judge myself as jnata and become influenced by jnaya or vishaya. And then perform a karma. This is called samsara. So this is a Vedantic way of describing samsara. Then this setup is there. By default, this setup is there. And by default also, we fail to distinguish the subject or Atma from the others. There is always a mix-up of the two, or identification. And that is what causes the reaction called samsara. Jnata, Jnaya, Jnanam, etc. not samsara. The Vyavahara is not samsara. Atma is not samsara. The identification of Atma with samsara, Vyavahara. That I am the Vyavahara Karta, there is a Vyavahara Karta. There is a subject, there is an object, there is an interaction, and there is Atma illumining them. That's all fine. The problem is Atma thinks that I am the subject. And that is the object different from me. And this is a cognition of the object yet different. And that creates in me a reaction of likes and dislikes. And I am impelled into action by this. And that action will create further series. So this simple vyavahara called samsara is explained. And this simple jnata, jnaya, jnanam is not samsara. Atma is not samsara. Atma taking himself to be jnata. And therefore being influenced by the jnaya. And therefore thinking that I am performing karma, I am karta. And I am bhokta. So kartrutva, bhoktrutva, both belong to the subject. Atma is not subject also. Subject is the one that is different from the object. Atma is not subject in primary sense because it's not different from object. It is illuminator. So this is a viveka, asadharanya, avagamya. That all these three are recognized in a very special way. Not that I just recognize them, I recognize them as illumined by I who is separate from them. The problem is that they are not I am separate from them, they are not separate from me. If they were separate from me, then there would be no problem. I am separate from them, they are not separate from me. B is equal to A is not equal to B. That's the equation. And therefore that separatedness has to be recognized and established and lived. Atratre paraspara apeksha siddhike agamapayani. We saw this. That subject, object and the knowledge, each one depends upon the other. Each one of them depends upon the other. Agamapayani, and they keep changing, coming and going. Vartamanam swatasiddham tadavabhutam anagamapai sakshanam yojanati. Even while recognizing the subject, object, etc., one recognizes that there is a changeless consciousness. That while subject is changing, object is changing, experience is changing. In all of these, agamapai, there is an anagamapai, meaning that unchanging illuminator, unchanging consciousness is there, who is separate from them. By separate, what is meant is unaffected by them. Samyak avagacchati, one who knows this very well. Saha atmavit, that's all. He is the knower of the self. Tvam-pada lakshya pratyeka atmavit iti yojana. He is the knower of the Atma, who is the Tvam-pada lakshya. Because remember that here the Padartha Jnata becomes the Vakya Jnata. So, Tvam Padartha, Tvam Pada, and this is the Artha of Tvam Pada. Is what? Tadavadibhutam Swatasiddham Tadavadibhutam. One knows the Tvam as Swatasiddham, self-shining, different from them, where everything comes to an end, ultimately all negation, etc. Who knows oneself in this manner, sa atmavit, he is the knower of the self. Tvam-pada lakshya, we know Atma, but Tvam-pada vachyartha we know, Tvam-pada lakshya, pratyeka atmavit iti yojana. If this was not enough, taduktam Sri Bhagavata, you know. So Tikakara has quoted a verse from Bhagavata. This is simple. How to complicate something? That is where Bhagavata is expert, How to complicate anything. Taduktam Sri Bhagavate. Ekameka tara bhave yada nopalabhave. I don't know why Bhagavat is like that really. Why a simple verse is, not a single verse is simple. Not a single verse is simple. Where some grammatical stuff is not there, some change is not there, some lakshasa is not there, some the wrong meaning is, something is not, every verse has to have something. I don't know why should you compose something like that anyway, this is my problem, but you are excluding people from understanding that. Like Ramayana, fine, everybody understands. Not Bhagavad, Mahabharata, everybody understands. Not Bhagavatam. Anyway, ekameka tara bhave. Why do you sing glory of Bhagavan in this complex manner? I don't know. You want to sing the glory of Bhagavan, why do you have to adopt this complex manner? Why can't you make it simple? Ekameka tara bhave. I don't know, this is my badapa, but anyway, yada nopalabhamahe tritayam tatrayo veda sa atma swasrayashraya. Ekatara abhave ekam nopalabhamahe. If any one of them is absent, then the other two are not known. Ekatara bhave, if others are not there, ekam also, when we do not know the one also, when the others are not known. Tritayam tatrayo veda, all the one who knows all the three, sa atma swashraya ashraya. That's the Atma which is independent ashraya, ashraya of everybody and also self-existing. So the footnote number 1. This is Srimad Bhagavata 2.10.9. Kvachidapi aneka grantha grantha nyastaha. Srimad Bhagavata. Now and then, aneka grantha grantha. Granthi means a knot. In the text called Bhagavatam, there are in various places, various knots are there. Read about Mahabharata also, that this is what Vedavyasa did, Nyastaha. So they are now thrown now and then, this rahasya. Ayam shloka eka granthi. This shloka also is a granthi like that. It is like a knot which is difficult to open. A granthi knot has to be opened or broken, whatever. This is one of those which can't be broken. Tadatha buddha purva shloka avabodha sapeksha. The meaning of this verse depends upon the understanding of meaning of the previous verse in that text. Ata prasavam savyakya sa sangruhyate. So this is the 9th verse, the understanding of which depends upon the previous verse, the 8th verse. Therefore, the Tippanikara, Savyakya Sahasangrividya, the previous verse, the 8th verse is here now, included along with its Vyakya. But that also is similar. That 8th verse also is his brother, so. Yodhyatmikoyam Purusha, so savevadi Devikaha, yastatro bhaya vicheda, sasmruto yadi bhautikaha. You can go round and round. Yopiyayam adhyatmika purusha. There is adhyatmika purusha. So asau eva adidevika. This adhyatmika purusha is the same as the adidevika purusha. Yes, tatra ubhaya vicheda. That which creates a vicheda or separation between adhyatmika and adidevika is called adibhautika. Adhyatmika purusha, adidevika purusha, adibhautika. See, all the three are involved in every transaction. Right now I am speaking. Then organ of speech is adhyatmika. The presiding deity, fire, is adidevika. And the words that are adibhautika. So adhyatmika, adidevika, adibhautika, all these three should participate in any transaction for any transaction to take place. So these three are defined here, explained. That there is adhyatmika purusha is the same now. Something unique is said here. This adhyatmika purusha is the same as adidevika purusha. But how come we think adidevika is different? That which creates the difference between them is adibhautika. So adibhautika stands between adhyatmika and adidevika, and that creates a difference between the two. This is what is said here. Asyatha. Yoyam adhyatmika purusha. That is from the verse. Who is that? Adhyatmika means what? Atmanam adhikritya vartate. He is adhyatmika. Atma means the self of the body. So that which is centered upon the body is called adhyatmika. Centered upon devata is adidevika. Centered upon bhuta is called adibhautika. So we have the individual, the world made of the bhutas, and devatas who are the presiding deities of both individual in the world. This is the setup. You have adhyatmika purusha, this individual person. Chakshuradi karnabhimani drashta jiva. Jivatma. Who is he? Chakshuradi karnabhimani drashta, who looks upon himself as drashta. The Jivatma who looks upon himself as drashta. So his notion that I am a drashta or a perceiver or a seer, how did that arise? Chakshuradi karnabhimani, on account of identification with the sense organs such as chakshuhu, there arises in me this notion that I am drashta. Prananyava prana bhavati vadan vak pashyan chakshuhu shrunvan shotram. This is the adhyatmika purusha, jiva, who looks upon himself, drashta, shrota, manta, vijnata, etc. So asau eva adidevika, the verse says, so asau eva means eva asau adidevika. Adhyatmika alone is adidevika. Now that's a new equation. Who adidevika is a devata. If you are doing vyavahara with chakshu, then the Surya is adideva. Vyavahara with speech, then again is adideva. So adidevika purusha is Suryadehi, the devata who is the presiding, who presides over a particular sense organ. The meaning that the drashta, the jivatma is same as Surya. This is the equation stated here. Now, how do you say that? Asya, atra. So much of prakriya is involved in that, अत्र पुरुषस्य जीवस्य उपाधित्वात् इंद्रियादौ पुरुष शब्द प्रयोगः. So Adidevikah Purusha and Adhyatmika Chakshu Karana are Adhyatmika. They are also called Purusha. Purushasya Jivasya Upadhitvat. Jivatma is the Purusha. The Chakshura, the Karana, the Upadhi of this Jivatma. And therefore the Upadhi, Indriya, etc. are also called Purusha. जीवस्य उपाधित्वात् इंद्रियादौ पुरुष शब्द प्रयोगः. इंद्रियादौ सदे चक्षु श्रोत्रम etc. in this इंद्रियादौ they are also called Purusha. Real Purusha is Jivatma, but I is also called Purusha, he is also called Purusha because of upadhi of Purusha. So this is by Lakshyata that so Indriyadau upadhitvat purush shabda prayoga. This you have to find out yourself. That adi bhautika purusha, indriyad etc. are adi bhautika purusha because they are the upadhi of this individual. Where do you find this kind of use? That one is called the other because of upadhi. Sava esha purusho narasamaya ityadau. Sava esha purusha annarasamaya. Annarasamaya. Where? In the Taittiriya Upanishad. Pruthivyam oshadaya oshadibhyavannam annat purusha. From annam is made this body. Sava esha purusha Annarasamaya. Annarasamaya. The modification of Annarasa, namely this body is called Purusha. It's called Atma. Understand this prakriya in Taittiriya. I don't think it's understood by many. It is a unique prakriya, not like others. Sava esha purusho annarasamaya. This is Atma. Andarasamaya is Atma. And that is what they are inviting you to realize that, hey, I am Andarasamaya Purusha. Not just read out, do this. Tasmad va etasmad Andarasamayat Anyantaratma Pranamaya. Having now recognized that I am Andarasamaya, am I independent Andarasamaya or am I dependent upon something else for what I am? Then I realize it because prana I am what I am. So next level of realization is I am not Andarasamaya, I am Pranarasamaya. Pranamaya. The realization. Then proceed further. So they talk of upasana etc. But you can talk in this realization, knowledge. Pranamaya, Manomaya, Anyantaratma, Manomaya. No, but prana also is controlled by someone else, that is Mana. Therefore, who am I? The Atma of prana is Mana, therefore I am Manomaya. But that also is controlled by the mind, has all kinds of sankalpa, vikalpa, all the result of the vijnana buddhi. So, vijnanamaya. This Vijnanamaya always gains knowledge for what? For performing karma, for what? For gaining happiness. Therefore, Anandamaya. Brahma Anandamaya, Ananda. Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. So, this is how this Panchakosha Viveka proceeds in a different way. Not that I am not Annamaya, I am not Pranamaya, I am not Manomaya. That's not what this says. I am Annamaya, I am Pranamaya, I am Manomaya, I am Vijnanamaya, I am Anandamaya, I am Brahma. You understand? Panchakosha Viveka is what? I am not Annamaya. Here it says, I am Annamaya, I am Pranamaya, I am Manomaya, I am Vijnanamaya, I am Anandamaya, I am Brahma. Anyway, so in that, Sava Eshapur Annarasamaya. So this body, which is a modification of Annarasa, is called Atma, Purusha. Because it is Upadhi of Purusha, therefore body also is called Purusha. So Indriyas also are the Upadhi of Purusha. Indriyas also can be called Purusha. So they are here, this verse describes the Adhyatmika Indriyani also as Purusha. Adhyatmika Purusha consisting of what? Chakshu, etc. Yadidam Adhyatmam Chakshuradi Sevasau Adevika Chakshuradi Adhishthada Suryadihi. One more equation. Yadidam Adhyatmam. Adhyatmam Atmanam Adhikritya Vartaya. So that which is located on the Atma or the body or self. Chakshuradi Karanam. Seva Adibhai Devika. That's another equation. This Chakshu etc. is none other than Surya. How do you say that? Indriya tadadhisthana yorabi Suryadi amsatvena aikarupyatvat, because the Surya also is made up of light and the Chakshu also is made up of light, and the both of them are amsa of the same thing, therefore they are equated. So this Purusha who is the Chakshuradi is none other than the Suryadi Purusha. So first line of the verse says, Yo Adhyatmikoyam Purusha Soevaso Adidevika. This Adhyatmika Chakshuradi is same as Adidevika Suryadi. But Chakshu also is the amsha of Surya, light. Surya also is the amsha of light. Now, how come we think that Adidevika is direct? This one says that this Surya is the same as this Chakshu. Because both of them have the amsha of the principle of light. Now, how come I think Surya is different from me? So, who creates the distance? Yatra yastu tastra ekasmin ev ubhayoho adhyatmika adidevika rupayoho. What is adhyatmika and adidevika are one. What seems to create a distance between them as far as we think that Adidevika is a different Purusha? Is this Adibhautika, this body? This body is the one that creates a distance between the Adhyatmika and Adidevika. Tayoho vichchedaha bhedaha yasmat tathavidaha chakshu golakadi upalakshito drushyo chakshur golakadi upaladeha. So second line says, Yas tatra ubhaya vichchedaha sasmruto adidavika. That which creates vichcheda or the division, the distance between the adhyatmic adidavika is adibhautika body. So the Tika says, Jastu tatra ekasmin eva ubhayoho adhyatmic adidaiva rupayoho, where Adhyatmika Chakshuradi, Adidevika Suryadi are one. So, between the two of them, Vichchedaha, Vedaha, what creates the separation between them? Yasmat Tathavidaha Chakshur Golakadi Upalakshito Drushyo Deha. Now the Chakshu, where is it located? In a certain center in the body, it's called Golaka. So Chakshur Golakadi is where, so this Golaka is what creates a distance between the Chakshu and the Golaka comes in the way of Chakshu, the Adhyatmika, and Surya Adidevika. And where is the Golaka located? In the Deha. So, what is meant by Goloka is the Deha. So, Upalakshito, Dushyo, but everywhere Lakshana is there. So, Tatha Vidaha, Chakshur Golakadi, upalakshito dusyo deha. The chakshur golaka is what creates a distance between them, but that means the body because that is where the golaka is. So this is what creates the distance between Chakshuradi Karanam and Suryadi Deva, even though both are one. What stands between them is body. Sa Adhibhautika Purusha Smrutaha. That body is called Adhibhautika Purusha Smrutaha. Abhinnayoho api Karna tad adhishtatroho Golakayo bhedo buddhyate. Karna tad adhishtatroho. Sense organs such as Chakshu, Adhisthana such as Surya, Abhinnayo, even though both are one, because both of them are amsha of the light. Golakeva bheda buddhyate. Where do you see the difference? Here. The Chakshu is here, Surya is there, because this Golaka is what creates the idea of here and there, and thus creates the distance between them. Anyatra karnasthiti bhavena bhedabodha bhavat. This Golaka, which is where the karna is located, and therefore this Golaka, and therefore the deha upalakshit by Golaka, implied by Golaka, is what creates the apparent separation with Adhibhautika and Adhyatmika. Even though they are one, this Karnadi and that, but this body creates the distance, or appearance of the distance. Evam cha indriyam adhyatmikam devata adhidaimikam golakam adhibhautikam vishayopi adhibhautika iti. Ultimately, this is what we understand. Indriyam adhyatmikam. The Chakshuradi Indriya is Adhyatma, located at the individual level. Devata Suryadi Adhidevikam. Golakam Adhibhautikam, that is where you recognize the presence of Chakshuradi Karana. And Vishaya, the color also is Adhibhautika. So this is additional Adhibhautika. What? This body of the Golaka. So Golaka or body also is called Adhibhautika. Normally Adhyatmika, this Vishaya is the Adhibhautika, Devata is Adhidaivika. But here the body also is called Adhibhautika. Chakshuradi is Adhyatmika, body is Adhibhautika, Vishaya also is Adhibhautika, and Devata is Adhidaivika. So this is the previous verse. To understand the verse quoted, we would understand this verse because the definitions are taken for granted. Ekam ekatarabhave yada nopalabhavahe. So these three are there. So ekatar abhave, if any one of them is not there, then none of them is there. There are three. If one of them is not there, none of them is there. You follow? Ekatar abhave, in absence of one, ekam nanupalabhave, we don't recognize any one of them. Tritam tatrayo veda, one who knows this group of three. So who is the one who objectifies this three? Sa Atma, Swashraya, that is Atma, that is Sonashraya, and Ashraya of everything else also. So the Prakruta Shloka. Ekam ekatarabhave iti. Edesham anyonya sapeksha siddhatve nanatmatvam suchayati. Anyonya sapeksha siddhatve. Each one is sapeksham. The Adhibhautikam, Adhidevikam, Adhyatmikam, all of these are dependent upon one another as explained in the previous verse. Therefore, each of them is separate as though nanatmatvam suchayati. Tatha I to explain, Drishyam vina tat pratiti anumeyam karanam na siddhyati. How do you know that the Chakshurindriya is there? This is Nayayika prakriya. That they arrive at that there is something called the sense organ of perception, eyes. How do you establish existence? Because you see. Seeing is a kriya, cannot take place unless there is karanam. No activity can take place without the means of that activity. Like chidi kriya. Like splitting the wood cannot take place without the axe. So by the act of the splitting of the wood, you can infer the presence of axe. So also by the act of the seeing, you infer the presence of the eyes. So that is how they arrive at the sense organs to Anumana, these Nayayika fellows. You don't need Anumana, you experience that these Indriyas, all sense organs are Anumeya, meaning that they are all result of Anumana. That your eyes, you would not know unless you saw. Your ears, you don't know unless you hear. So, Dushyam vina tat pratiti anuvayam karanam na siddhyati. In a way, it is true also whether this little child hears or not. Does not, he has no faculty of hearing. He doesn't see. That is recognized sometime later, In the beginning, it all looks normal. Then you recognize that the child has some deficiency because the act is not taking place. Act of hearing is not taking place, therefore he doesn't have instrument of hearing. Act of seeing is not taking place, so he doesn't have the instrument of seeing. So that's how they say that the sense organs of perception are inferred from the act of perception. Drishyam vina tat pratiti anumeyam karanam na siddhyati. If karanam na siddhyati, if the organ of eye is not established, then drashta, then seer also cannot be established. If seeing is not there, one is not there, then the organ of seeing also is not there, seer also is not there. If one is not there, then none of them is there. If seeing is not there, then the organ of seeing also is not there because organ of seeing is inferred by the act of seeing. And whether it is not there, then the seer also is not there. Because act of seeing establishes seer. So ekatar abhave, if one is not there, none of them is there. That's what it says. So, drishyam vina tat pratiti anuvayam karanam na siddhyati napi drashta nacha tad vina karana pravritti anumeya tadidishtat. Then, how do you say Surya is there? Karana pravritti anumeya, that sun also according to them is inferred. Who is the presiding deity of the organ of eyes. So organ of eyes are established by the act of seeing. If act of seeing is not there, eyes are not there. Eyes are not there, seer is not there. That is not there, Surya is not there. Because for them, all of this is inferred. So karana pravritti anubhaya tadadishthata. That sun is there is something that is inferred by the activity of the eyes, by the activity of seeing, by the eyes. If seeing is not there, eyes cannot be established, seer cannot be established, Surya also cannot be established. All of them are anumeya. Seeing is an experience that leads you to the anumanam of the drashta, karanam and the adhisthan devata. Nacha tad vina drishyam. And how do you say drishya is that color is there? So color and eyes and the seer and so none of them can be established. So ekatara abhaveda na upalabhamahe. If one of them is not there, the kriya is not there, then none of them can be established. For them, this act of seeing establishes by inference the seer, the organ of seeing, the adhisthana devata of this, the object that is seen. Act of seeing. If that is not there, none of them else, you can't arrive at any of them, rest of them. So which shloka is what? They use all Nayayika and Vaisheshika and Sankhya Prakriyas, not Vedanta Prakriyas, all the Puranas. They always use Sankhya Prakriya for creation. And all kinds of stuff, Vaisheshika and so on and so forth for, Nobody uses a Vedanta Prakriya, now and then, but otherwise, so you have to know their Shastra a little better, well, to understand the shloka of Bhagavata and Puranas. Tatra tada tat adhyatmakadi tritayam alocanatmakena pratyena yo veda tritayam tatra yo veda. So one who knows this tritayam, the dushta, the karanam, the devata, and then you add drishya also and the dashti also. Sakshita pashyati. So one who sees subject, object, and the action or instrument. That is what the previous verse explained simply. This also explained after all these roundabout. Says, Tritayam alochatmakena pratyena yo veda. So thus you do the alochanam. And that's how you arrive at this Tritayam. The drashta, drishya, darshanam, and then karanam, and then surya. Sakshitaya pashyati. So this is how we recognize all of them are different from you. So you are different from them. Because you arrive at them in this manner by inference, etc., and therefore you are different from them. As one who sees them all different, one sees oneself as different from all of them. Sa Atma eva, that is Atma. Swashraya ashraya. Swashraya swa ashraya ananyashraya. Swashraya ananyashraya, meaning that he is independent of any of the ashraya, is self-supporting, self-existing. Swashraya ashraya. Such asav anyesham ashrayasya. It is self-existing as well as the basis of existence of everything else. Atma is svashraya, self-existing, at the same time, ashraya, imparting satta, sphuti to everything else, therefore, ashraya of everything else. Anyesham siddhi anyasapeksha. The jnata, jnaya, jnanam. The devata, all of these can be established. When one is established, then others can be. If one is not established, none of them can be established. So their being there depends upon the others. Atma siddhi none, but Atma doesn't require any one of them to be, for it to be there. So when none of them is there, then also Atma is there. So you therefore you completely dissolve them. Maya mayatvam evam yata eva vicharitvat tesham maya mayatvam. I mean mutually excluding. They are excluded by Atma, and therefore they exclude each other also, and excluded by the Atma, therefore they are mithya, and the one who cannot be excluded by anybody is Atma. So Atma is Satya, all of this Maya or Mithya. So thus Atma and Atma Viveka is explained here, of course in a very sophisticated manner. So what is simply stated, the reason why this verse is quoted by the Tikakara, is that this Granthakara simply said that one who knows them is the Atma. So what is the prakriya of knowing them? That whole detailed prakriya is explained by the reference to these verses of Bhagavata. Because how each one of them is paraspara sapeksham and Atma is nirapeksha. So sapekshata is established, then only vyabhicharitvam, mithyatvam, mayamayatvam. And what is called mithya is that which can be completely negated. It can disappear without any problem. So that's how know them to be mithya or mayamaya, and therefore resolve them completely, negate them completely. And what remains as the avadibhutam, meaning the limitation, or which is the limit of all the negation, which non-negatable is Atma. So this is how Atma Tattvam is explained in this text, and for that the support of the Bhagavatam had to be taken to get to the nitty-gritty of this negation prakriya. How do you negate? That is explained by these verses. The text said, the one who knows them all the three is Atma. So how does he know them all the three? That is what is explained here in detail this way. How the three are all relative, vyabhichari, mutually dependent, and the one upon whom they depend, and one because of whom they are there. So that is Atma. So that's how this verse here helps us carry out that prakriya of recognizing Atma as separate from this three. All right, so we conclude with that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So this is the last class of this session. The next class will come in the month of perhaps first week of September or something. 24મી ઓગસ્ટ અઠવાડિયું તો જશે મને લાગે.
હરિઓમ. મોટો કરજો. મેં દબાવ્યું. હા સારું, તો મોટું કરી શકતો હોય તો કર બેટા. શંકરાનંદ ગીતા વિશે આજે આપણે વક્તવ્ય રાખ્યા છે વિદ્યાર્થીઓના. હું જરા યાદ કરાવી જાઉં છું. આવા અધ્યાય લખાયા છે આપણી પાસે. અમારે ક્રમથી ચાલવું હોય તો પહેલો અધ્યાય સ્વામીની સુપ્રભાનંદજી છે. બીજો તમે જરા મને કંઈ ખોટું હોય કે એવું હોય તો ધ્યાન દોરી દેજો. આપણે આ બરાબર છે માને ચાલીએ છીએ. સ્વામીની સુપ્રભાનંદજી પહેલો અધ્યાય, પ્રાચી બીજો અધ્યાય, સેજલ ત્રીજો અધ્યાય, પન્ના ચોથો અધ્યાય લખાવ્યો છે. ઋષિ પાંચમો અધ્યાય છે. ક્યાં છે ઋષિ? બરાબર છે બેટા. પછી મહેન્દ્રભાઈ છઠ્ઠો અધ્યાય, સોનલ સાતમો અધ્યાય, દર્શિતભાઈ 8મો અધ્યાય. સ્વામીજી હા એણે હા કહી છે મને સવારે. હા ના એટલે મેં તો એવું નથી કર્યું દબાણ. સ્વામીજી મહારાજના આદેશને માન ના આપ્યું પણ લોકો આગળને માન આપ્યું પૂજ્યભાઈએ. 8મો અધ્યાય દર્શિતભાઈ છે. 9-10 નથી. 11મો અધ્યાય હેમંતિકા છે. 12મો અધ્યાય નંદિની છે. 13મો નથી. 14મો સ્વામીની પર પ્રજ્ઞાનંદાજી છે. 15મો કાર્તિકભાઈ છે. 16-17 નથી અને 18મો ભાવનાબેન છે. બરાબર આ પ્રકારે છે. સાંજે 6 વાગે મળીએ છીએ અને સાંજે 5 મિનિટનું જ રાખવાનું થશે ખરું. તો 4 મિનિટે પહેલી ઘંટડી વાગશે, 5 મિનિટે બીજી વાગશે, 5 મિનિટ પૂરું એટલે સારું ને આપણને ખાલી 5 જ મિનિટ બોલવાનો છે. તો એ આપણને અનુભવ છે કઈ વખત એ પ્રકારે આ કાર્યક્રમ રહેશે. હા અને ઓનલાઈન સાંભળનાર બધાને પણ નિમંત્રણ છે અહીં આવવા માટે, બધાને પ્રોત્સાહિત કરવા માટે. ને આપણે આ બધું સરસ થયું હોય તો ભલે રોજ ના આવી શકીએ, એક દાડા આવીને તો પ્રણામ કરવાનું આપણને ગમે ને કે સ્વામીજી મહારાજને ગ્રંથ પૂરો થયો છે અને પ્રણામ કરીએ. અને આના જ અનુસંધાનમાં વીણાબેન 11મો કોઈનો છે? હેમંતિકાનો છે 11મો અધ્યાય. બીજો કોઈ અધ્યાય કયો? 9, 10, 13, 16, 17 છે. મને તૈયાર થાય બહુ મોટી વસ્તુ છે બોલવા માટે. એટલે 11મો અધ્યાય વીણાબેન બોલે છે, 11મો અધ્યાય હેમંતિકા પણ છે. ઠીક છે. એટલે આપણી પાસે સ્વામીજી 15 વક્તા થયા છે. એટલે 5 મિનિટ એટલે 15 4 મિનિટ કરીએ ને તો 60 થશે. એટલે 5 મિનિટની આગળ પાછળ 1 મિનિટ તો જાય જ ને, ઓછામાં ઓછી 1 મિનિટ. હા 5 મિનિટ રાખીએ છીએ. ભલે ઠીક છે, 5 મિનિટ રાખીએ છીએ આ કાર્યક્રમમાં. અને બીજું આપણે શનિવાર ગીતા પારાયણ રાખ્યું છે સાંજે 5 થી 8 જેવું. ગીતા પારાયણ પછી મહાપ્રસાદ પણ છે. અને સ્વામીજી આ યોગ વશિષ્ઠના પુસ્તક આવી ગયા છે કહું. યોગ વશિષ્ઠના પુસ્તકો આપણે શંકરાનંદી પછી જ કરવાનું હતું બરાબર. હા તો શંકરાનંદી પછી યોગ વશિષ્ઠ માટે મહેન્દ્રભાઈએ ઘણી મહેનતના સંશોધનો કર્યા. તો આપણે ભણવાનું નક્કી ના કરીએ તો લોકો કેમ લે? હા તો લે એવું કેવી રીતે કહું હું? સારા પુસ્તકો આવ્યા છે. બીજાનો ઓર્ડર આપેલો છે. આની કિંમત 520 જેવું કહ્યું ને તમે. એટલે એવું થયું કે આપણે શોધતા હતા કે તૈયાર પુસ્તક મળે એટલે પેલા ઝેરોક્સ કરાવવું, સ્પાઇરલ કરાવવું બધું બહુ જ અઘરું અને ખર્ચાળ લાગતું હતું. લઘુયુગ વશિષ્ઠનું પુસ્તક તૈયાર મળી શક્યું આપણને. હતા તો ખરા પણ મળી પણ શક્યા. પહેલાં આપણે કર્યું ત્યારે ઝેરોક્સ કરાવવું પડેલું. એટલે તૈયાર મળી ગયા. બહુ સરસ વસ્તુ છે. ટીકા સાથેના પુસ્તકો છે એટલે ઘણી સગવડ છે. 6000 શ્લોકો હતા એટલે આપણે થોડા ગૂંચવાતા હતા. એ સ્વામીજી કે થોડા સ્કીપ કરીશું કે આમ તેમ. પણ આ એક સ્ટેન્ડર્ડ વસ્તુ મળી જાય ને તો બધાને સરસ અને ઓછું મોંઘું પડે. એટલે હું ધારો 521 રૂપિયાનું કેવું કંઈક થયું છે, 600 રૂપિયાનું કેવું છે, પણ આપણને ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ વગેરેથી 540 લાગે છે. 540 એવું બાઇન્ડ થયેલું સરસ પુસ્તક છે. અને હા સ્વામીજી અને આ બીજું ટીકાનું પુસ્તક એટલે એટલા માટે કે યોગ વશિષ્ઠ મૂળ 36,000 શ્લોકોનો છે. એટલે આમાં વચ્ચે વચ્ચેના શ્લોક આવશે તો આપણને આગળ પાછળ જોવાની જરૂર ઊભી થવાની જ છે. અને સ્વામીજી મહારાજ જો લે તો જુએ પણ ખરા ઉપર નીચે. એટલે પછી આપણને થાય કે આપણે ગુમાવીએ છીએ. તો આનું યોગ વશિષ્ઠનું આખા મૂળ યોગવશિષ્ઠનું સંસ્કૃત અને હિન્દી ભાષાંતરવાળું પુસ્તક પણ છે, મળે છે. એ 5 ભાગમાં છે. એની કિંમત 2500 રૂપિયા છે. અને આ પુસ્તક 2 ભાગમાં છે. આ એક તો મળ્યો છે, બીજા મળશે કે કેમ આપણને ખબર નથી. કેમ મહેન્દ્રભાઈ? મળી જશે. તો ટીકાનો સમજા, ટીકા, સંસ્કૃત ટીકા, આ લઘુ યોગ અને એની કિંમત તમને ખબર નથી. કેમ? મોતીલાલ બનારસીદાસનું આ છે, આ પણ એનું જ છે, મોતીલાલ બનારસીદાસનું. છે, હા, 2700 રૂપિયા નહીં, તો લઘુની છે. અને 1800 રૂપિયા છે. 2 ભાગના 1800 રૂપિયા છે. એ બહુ સરસ વસ્તુઓ થઈ, આપણને મળી શકે. આમ તો ઘરમાં વસાવો જોઈએ ઉત્તમ ગ્રંથો છે બધા આપણી પરંપરાના. તો ટીકા ના નથી. એટલે મોતીલાલ બનારસીદાસનું સંસ્કૃત અને સંસ્કૃત ટીકા, સંસ્કૃત ગ્રંથ શ્લોકોની સંસ્કૃત ટીકા છે. 1800 રૂપિયાના 2 ભાગ. 2500 રૂપિયાના 5 ભાગ છે. એ મૂળ સંસ્કૃત શ્લોકો છે અને હિન્દી ભાષાંતર છે. અને આ ત્રીજું લઘુયોગ વશિષ્ઠ એ ટેક્સ્ટ આપણે પાઠ્યપુસ્તક જો સ્વામીજી મહારાજ નક્કી કરે તો તે પાઠ્યપુસ્તક તરીકે વપરાશે. એટલે તો જોઈશે જ. આ વૈકલ્પિક રહે, પણ આપણે આપણા ઉપયોગ માટે ઈચ્છીએ તો લઈ શકીએ. અને આપણે મહેન્દ્રભાઈને કહીએ તો પછી એ પ્રકારે કરી શકાશે. હરિઓમ. શુભેચ્છાઓ તૈયારી માટે. સાંજે મળીએ છીએ.